Okay, it's 14 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's also, after that, another 30 minutes till the opening of the Dow Jones. I just noticed crude oil went up, or gasoline went up overnight. So here we're up about 20% where you actually put it in the car. And I couldn't help thinking that the dollar is going to get spanked pretty hard. But I don't know if it's going to be against the other currencies because this whole dollar index fallacy of that's going to help you trade better is just ridiculous. I think you have to treat each currency in its own light of what it's doing. And so this is where the bias is a problem, because if you're going to buy the euro and sell the dollar, that means that you think the dollar is worth less. And what does that mean to the Canadian dollar? God knows. You know, if there was some index that you could trade, maybe there is, like the, I don't know, the dollar against. But then how do you weight it? You know, the Dow Jones is a monkey with that index to get it so it's weighted. And then they pull stuff in and out. I was very dismayed when I found out when I was a child that the Dow Jones Industrial Average is 30 stocks that they picked. So they'll drop somebody out of the index. It must affect the index. And God knows where the data, and another reason why I never want to trade stocks is because if you ever look at a stock chart and they go, well, it's split back here, and I'm like, holy shit. Now what? I got to redo all my fucking math because these fucking ass clowns decided to split their stock? Fuck. So Forex is 24 hours, and other than the fact that it's over the counter, like penny stocks, that's the only thing that kind of makes it awkward. So here we're buying into the plunge again. I dumped everything last night, right around this area here, and then I loaded up on limits. I did not cash out here, so I just want to say I had the 4-hour. Now this is going to seem like Gartley patterns to Gartley people, but you know the market makes its own Gartley, so you really don't have to try that hard to get it to look like a Gartley. So all the Gartley is a zigzag. And we're going to let the market determine the zigzag instead of getting out the fib tools and all that. The market's its own Fibonacci. It's got its own bizarre skew. So I'm going to take this as the skew point. This is the angle. When this bar closes, that will be written in stone. That zigzag is complete. Complete zigzag. We have a 2-period RSI down here. And use at your own risk. That's a 4-hour chart. I don't really see too many signals in here from RSI. I guess here's your triple divergence. This is good for some action. The compression here is an ungodly here. Plus it's a 2-period, which is 2 to 5 period RSI signals are the most powerful signals. You know, if you get a 1-period RSI in here, it almost had a reversal. Here's a reversal. There's a sell just before the pullback buy, but you already got divergence there. This complicated tension. You just don't really, unless you plot this on dots, and if you did, you could see the reversal showing up early on the way to it. So as it's coming up here, maybe. But you do get a perfect bottom become a top on the 4-hour. It's very cliche. So I bought more here. I think we're trapped underneath. A lot of people sold here. They wrote it to there, and if they had a trailing protection, they got stopped out with profits. So this is the cause for this move. This pressure building up. So it's simple. Of course, it's a more jagged fill of this vacuum where it pokes down into that hole. You know, the bear story is different than the bull story. So the drip down here on the 4 hour. So I had a pack of limits in here. I've already dumped out because I want to rinse and repeat as much as I can. It's manual trading. No stops. Here is the floor where we had all the tickets racked up in this window. This would be the next. I would definitely buy more down here because this one goes back further. So whatever goes back the furthest, this is doesn't matter anymore because it got filled. So that one's done. This is the last hope for the buy-in limits for one more blast off the top that did not happen. As soon as the ATR drops down here, it gets very fragile because the hedge bots or the hedge-minded people jump on that because it's the lowest risk entry because you have to pay for your stop. What if you put on a at the market hedge and you have stops that are really tight? So you're going to jump on that, right? This is, you're going to jump on here. You're going to jump on here. Anytime you see a small bar, you're like, oh yeah. Now here, even if you got stopped out on this drift up, if you have take profits that are wacky deep, now this is letting your planning your trade and trading your plan. So you actually need to do that. You have to find a way to do that. I think because I was testing the limit entries, and if you don't let this swing play out, in other words, the bonus in this entry here is the fact that if you did buy down here on limits, now this is the other side of the story. You've got the this is like 12 hours of drift, then slam and take out the low of the week or the low of the previous day also. New low for the week. End up with a doji or maybe a hammer if it opened here. See, the problem with the candlesticks is people are putting too much into it. The candlestick books I've read are just ridiculous. They've got a name for every one of these things. I say that there's only this is the ultimate doji, right? This is just the market actually drifted into that. It's quiet. What could possibly go wrong? Right? It's quiet. I think it's going to get loud. So it's quiet. I think it's going to. Now it's quiet for as many hours here. Well, people would say, look at this. This is a nice breakout. It never slammed back where this one slammed back. Well, geez, I can't trade that technique, that pattern. It's not that. You'd have to have multiple systems running. Of course, you know this is the place you need to buy. But what do you do in the meantime? The market's here. Are you seriously waiting for this entry? Okay, maybe you are. But my God, man, look at this fill of this hole. And then when you take out this last basement here, wow. I think you get kind of a, I don't know what happened in this. Can't see in here. There might be a spike up there inside the other time frame. But holy shit. Now we're right back to the round number. So I'm pretty piggishly long here because I put in some scalps. I'm trying to make like 5 pips. So I'm trying to pad the account here from, I got stopped out because I ran out of margin. I bought so much on the pullback with hand-placed 130Ks, one per ticket, 130 per ticket, and just let it go, you know. So you can make quite a bit of money like this, but you're still risking technically the whole account. Right now I have 13 in margin and 13 free. So I'm right at the balance point. If the market can hold 113 here into the opening, and crude oil looks like it's going to make a big run up. I didn't look at the chart, but I looked at the pump, and I must tell you, there's going to be a real upset in the markets coming up. It's going to be crazy. I mean, people just aren't going to like it. The volatility is going to be, I think that for the first time, you're going to see some kind of like inflation. Because if this euro gets to about 125, 140, 150, if the euro went to 150 and the pound went to $3, which could happen, I mean, it's just so funny because anything can happen. And it has. I haven't even looked at Bitcoin, but it's funny to watch all this stuff play out. I must say it's very entertaining. This kind of running, people run from this side of the ship to that side of the ship, and that gold will probably go down. People say gold should have gone up if there's inflation. No, maybe gold's inflated. I mean, why do people think inflation is always on the other guy's thing? Maybe it's all inflated. Where is inflation hiding? I guess is the question. Anyways, that's too philosophical for making money. That's too ambiguous. How do you build a trade plan on that? Okay, so I'm sort of at this balance area here. I have to kind of overcome this hump of using half of the account this morning in margin. We still have 2 more minutes waiting for that infamous whistle or the bell. They ring the bell, like exchange. I always thought that was funny, like horses. Isn't that what's going on? It's like a horse race. The ponies. Okay, so it's going to be, I could actually get out of these, right? Now the broker will not let you out. Some brokers will not let you out of these tickets unless, if you're getting very close to the target, they won't let you out. But yeah, just, they're charging me commissions here. So. But spread gets pretty much near zero for a few milliseconds here. So we have to maintain the 113, just below 113 here. So on the 4-hour chart, we really exploded the volatility. In the last 4 hours at least, you know, if you just traded a breakout strategy here, you already scalped out. No fill on the south side. So if you notice, that would have been a nice, and of course, as soon as it shears up into these, it's kind of filling, doesn't make it to this top. So it does have a conk out level. It gets conked out. So it's just filling that hole, and it's satisfied, and then, of course, how big is that hole? That one is actually 8-hour void, right? Like these are your classic void. Here you go, like a trailing void here that's about 12 hours. 16-hour voids. Okay, looks like we're making a move here now. On the 1 hour, my view is that this is the floor, and we're engulfing it right now. If we rejected that floor, that was supposed to become. So this is pattern failure trading, I suppose. Bottoms are supposed to become tops, but guess what? Because of what the larger structure kind of takes over here, right? And this is more meaningful that we filled this, that we healed this void from the original pivot. This is the 1 hour chart, which is about as much as you can see of this pivot here. We actually never made it back to this. Because this top here, is the last known pivot looking back. So we gobbled up all these tickets, and I've got scalps running. I'm going to cash out of these. I really would want to ride the whole thing, but I want to be at about $10,000 a margin and then ride this thing to about, maybe I could add on and scalp it, but I don't want to run any stops, so I have to get out of these things. It would be way too much exposure, especially if some news comes out. I don't know if there's news, but I know that whatever news typically came out at the bottom of the hour. I wasn't watching. But the big deal is going to be when the Dow Jones opens, and right here we're at the 13 level. That's going to be psychotic. So as far as the Gartley thing goes, this is my version of geometric analysis, using the market as its own rectifier of the volatility levels projected into the future. So if I take any point on here, and we're just going to build a wigwam or whatever have you. I'm going to take this as my index, my first place to hang. It's an extreme point in the market, and this way we can build like a grid around it. So this is the fixed, based on this one inflection point. This is like the fixed point. And then you double click this till it's highlighted. You hold down the control key. You drag this thing over to the next known high here, or I guess it's kind of hard to describe the rule set, but you're just looking for a high that's below you, somewhere you can attach this. I guess this is where, I guess it's some type of, maybe too hard to describe to a robot. But if I keep dragging this down and hanging it off there, and of course if I keep on, instead of putting it here, I put it right to here, then I'm kind of also making a projection into the future by X. So I can also cut this line in half. I cut this line off. So here's the way I did it years ago on a video. It's kind of how to build a it'd be like a jigsaw pitchfork, jig fork. Is that you take this and you turn this off, and then this fat node in the middle, you make that your cycle point, right to here. I have to delete all this other shit. Okay, so this is if you're into Gartley stuff. This is Fibonacci explained. Let me be very precise here, because the index, there is a rate of change defined right here. So without getting too picky, I'm just going to put it there. And then I hold down the control key, copy this over, and start latching it to those peaks now. And it'll just be the rate of change. And we just make this array like this, and then we can do the same thing on the uptrend side, I suppose. Anywhere on here will do, because if the fractal of this market is X, then we should have the same. It doesn't matter where you hang this, actually, because it's going to, you're basically, if you hang it like this, you're just going to trade steeper moves, right? So if you drag this over, this would be your slicing tool for the miter box. Like, see, it's hugging this. You could say, oh yeah, look at this, finding support there. And the horizontal story is always going to be well beyond this story here. So these are the rungs it's climbing. But if I can't find it, if I can't get a trade out of that, what's the point, right? So if I pick this price pulse, now I'm just going to go for the current nuttiness here. People talk about measured moves, or even an increment. So here you go. This is like a classic. People see these moves all the time. Like she went to the store. She's probably coming back. Then I can stalk her. So here's a perfect measured move. Here, everybody gets in here. Their target's here. Or the market just has that price pulse. Here is connect that. Okay, made it to that price. Got there faster. That would be your like 1-2 wave, and then 3 would be the bigger wave after that. This is a 1 hour chart, so there'd be a lot of, that's not so bad. You're getting in here because it's very narrow range too. So people are making money from this strategy, and there's people that are making money from saying, well, obviously this is the bottom, right? This is a bottom that became a top, kind of right in the middle of this. All the triangle traders are saying, oh yeah, I can see here, oh, trend line's going to break. Let's get in before the trend line breaks, everybody. There's so many people in on this trade for different reasons. There's people that are like trailing buy stops. I'm just waiting to get filled. Okay, look, I'm making money. It's crazy. They know this is the exit, Let's hope. Just like if you would have sold here, and when it went below here, a part of you had to say maybe it's just this is going to come to here now, and now it's going to engulf here, and then it's just going to be crazy, and then it's going to come back down, and it's going to be fucking even more crazy. I guess you got to just figure what the next trade is, next move is. So, in this geometric projection scheme that people love to entertain, you're still left with this horizontal game being the ultimate arbiter. This is the window. This is the unfair value. Once it gets trapped under here, then it accumulates, and then it rips, because not only is it unfair value, classic auction, but it's left this big void behind that's just itching to be filled. Then it does get filled, and here comes, I think this is like 3 o'clock in the morning or something, 4 in the morning. Fills that void. Sellers come in. All the sell tickets are stacked up. Actually, the sellers are the people that are taking profits also. So you have a lot of people trading for different reasons, all making money. If they're doing what, in other words, if they're decided to trade in a particular direction for a particular amount of time. Okay, we're at the round number. We got to come after this price today. Stocks open. I don't know see, that's another thing. If you have an opinion on the Dow Jones, that's going to bleed into your mind maybe, and so you're saying, well, the Dow Jones is going down. That means risk on, risk off. If I hear that risk on, risk off shit, I'm blowing my fucking brains out again, like I didn't blow them out before. Because what the fuck? I mean, if you're sitting here in this position I'm in here, where I'm like insanely in this thing, I should be scalping out. Right, if this is real money, I'm up $2,300. You think I'm going to look at the Dow Jones now? I got to get this thing to like 50 grand. This is how that ICT guy trades. He just trades like this without stops. It's just too lazy. This is like Suli. I'm trading samurai style, no stop. No stop frio. I've been to 32,000 in equity now. Coming right up back on my equity here. It's been 2 days of. I traded on Friday. It's like the third day of trading on this account, I think. Yeah, I think I bought that plunge on Friday and a couple of retracements since. But yeah, we're 3 pips above the round. Looking to take out the high of the day today. But in the meantime, I'll be scalping. As soon as we make it up, 3 more pips, I'll be out. Boom. So I just took something off the table there. This is a good thing because the Dow is going to open, and if this thing should go down, I need to pad the account. So here I've got more free margin that I'm using. This is when I feel relief. So even in a demo, I feel like it'd be like if you had a demo, like even an inflatable doll, and it got hurt. You kind of feel bad, you know. Oh man, really? Oh god, I gotta get a new body part for that thing. This is my last exit that's predefined here. The rest of this I could take off, or I could put some take profits in here and scale out of the whole thing and go flat. But if I could get to about 20,000 free, riding with about right around 12,000 in, and this thing goes rocketing up when the Dow opens. So we definitely rejected this floor on the this big sell-off here, and the 4-hour looks really ripe as we're coming up against the trend line. So this is the deal. We're obviously breaking that line on close. And that's why I don't like to put the trend line on the wicks, because we're so far from this trend line right now. It's like, oh my God, really, you would actually wait for this break? So being impatient, it really helps to trade on the close prices, because then you'll just have to wait 4 hours for a trade. You don't have some ridiculous out midair on the horizon like this. I mean, I guess you could have said, well, okay, I have this trend line here, but if you have that one, the closing trend line is just tighter than shit, because it's technically like this. You know, it's like, wow, it's right along the close and it breaks, and then you're running it way in tight here. Plus you have this trend line does not show you this void here, this rooftop. It's so far out there, it's ridiculous. But this is how people draw trend lines on these wicks. If you drew it on here on the closing prices, you'd know exactly. Okay, well, we're just right on. It's a perfect entry if you're going to trade at the trend line to sell. It's perfect. And there's here's a top bottom failure, like miserable here. This top's supposed to become a bottom here. It's very fragile. The vacuum is taking way more weight. This is way more impending doom. This void here. So it's these holes that are getting filled here. Now we just got to take out this and this. Okay, so I think I just cashed out of that last. I'm just about to take this one off the table automatically and let the rest go. Take me to about 20,000. Only using 12. 20,000 free, 32. So had I got out here, I'd be at 32 right now. So I did get out below that, and then I reloaded the wagon. And I took on so much a position that I actually, the broker took me out of $1,000 because I had no more margin available at this point. And here I had 26,000 coming into. Now we got to cut through these. But this is just a classic, what people call stop hunt, because anybody that's long or anybody that kept moving their stop because they bought here thinking, oh, it's just going to keep going, or they bought here, or they bought even here before it all started, and they're like, oh, this is a great trade, and they're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Here we go. So I'm 10 pips above. Dow Jones is about to open. I think we could clean house, pop the top of this. Here I'm at 11 with 22 free. I can ride this till we take out the highs from. So here's the daily pullback hole. The stop hunt on the daily, all those guys have scalped out, and the people that want to ride the train north loaded up pretty heavy there. And the contest is to take out the high of the day here and take out the high of yesterday into this window, and then go chopping after this top, and then we would dump everything and reload very close to the market, because you want to go flat, because what if you have to take some money out of the account, right? Because you got to go buy another gun. I don't know. Get some more prepper materials. But yeah, now we would just wait for the Dow to open. I could see getting out. It's a good thing we did get out of that ticket, because look how this thing comes right off the 10 handle. So we filled this void. I do expect this to pull back here. We just tagged the rooftop on the half hour now. Sellers just came in there. But that was quite a nice smooth ride to here. You know, it made a new high here. All the ATR bots were in on this half hour bar. They've cashed out. Just a classic trap down here. In 1/2 hour, you would have bought 3K at the market every time it's down, and then don't buy anymore, let it go. Don't chase it. The only guy who's chasing that is the trend trader that looks for the small half-hour bar, and he gets in and says, well, you know, this is the moment of truth, because this is the floor. This needs to become a bottom, and it does not. It's also pressing against this trend line. On close, the trend line on Wix is definitely out there. A little late to the party, naturally. Okay, now we got to blow out this, and we got to come after this void now into the Dow Jones opening. 10 minutes. 10-minute countdown. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. We understand you're the trader that doesn't use stops. Of course, I could pluck off any of these winners at any moment here. Okay, we're going to come up into this void, and I could get out of everything right now. Or I could pluck off a couple of these. Every trade's a winning trade. So I'm going to pluck off a couple of these into the, and then I'll just put a smaller ticket below. I'm going to pop up into this void here. Just to pad the account. It's kind of a big ticket. So I'm actually selling. If we hit 50, we get 2 more pips, I'm going to get out. Just get into that window. We'll probably get a 2 pip pop into that window. It's always a frantic move into this Dow opening. Okay, I'm going to cash out of that one. Cash out of that. Cash out. Okay, now I'm going to put buy limits in. Same size, but I should take the size down. I had it smaller on the other. See, each chart has its own size in manual trading. So here I'm going to put a buy limit right almost where I got in, just because these are smaller tickets and I can stack up more, because I expect some kind of insanity before the so here's the wigwam that I drew earlier on the 4-hour chart. So the market respects this geometry only because it's built on the market. Comes down, touches here, comes here. We know this is the horizontal tangent points are always going to be valid. Now I feel like pulling the trigger at the market here. If I go to the 1 minute chart, yeah, I'd be chasing it. So I'm just going to put a buy limit here and hope that it pulls back when the Dow Jones opens. So at 35,000 now, I really kind of took the heat off a little bit. I could still get out of any one of these winners though, and I would be a seller on the 1 minute chart into the opening of the Dow. Here we are stepping into the border. This is the void we're about to fill. But I've seen it rip back before, and I do have pendings here ready to just jump in. I'm going to add some more pendings really close, in case we get a little jitter before that thing, just because I'm in so big. I'll definitely get some drama here. So I cashed out where all these guys were selling too. So you get pretty eager about these trades. This is a more realistic view is the 1 hour, 4 hour charts, because you can see this, why it's backing off of that void. Okay, we got 5.5 minutes. Dow Jones going to open. And the bears are winning. So it won't affect my equity as bad now as it pulls back. And I can afford to pull the trigger at the market if I get all excited that it just crushes back. I don't know if the ask is showing on here. I'm missing the ask price or something. Okay, the black's the bid, the white's the ask. First ticket comes in down here. I gotta change the color of tickets. Alrighty then. Well, looks like it's gonna rip up there. So that's fine. I guess I'm going to definitely start cashing out when we get above the high of the day. It's either that or let it go, because you would have to come in with limits beneath, because you could expect a pullback off of that. This is the big contention zone. That's a crazy spot up there. Should be severe reaction here. So just popping its head above water here. Still tentative. It gets so squirrely before the stocks open, it's just psychotic. Now this looks scary because it looks like we're getting in too close to the market. Those are all naked pendings. So 113 is bobbing around, itching to blow out the top of these two fractals here. We got this one and this one, I'd say, prominent. We have this key zone. This key zone, we're dipping into this window right now. There's the support. I could also put a buy limit here, which I did, lest we come back to that. Okay, we're poking through. Okay, that's the zone to fill. This one's already been satisfied. Okay, just 3 minutes here, 2.5 minutes. And it's just like, wow. Holding above the 1310. Yes, it looks good. 5 minutes drifting up. Sellers coming in up there at the top. 15-minute. Okay, definitely looks like a stop hunt coming here. So maybe I can pick up some more tickets. Only got 2 minutes before stocks open. The 4 hour looks pretty scary. I wouldn't want to sell on the 4, but you know, the 5 looks like a sell, but you'd have to be, you're up right now. It's your first time, but when it becomes one of these baby pullbacks, and here's a nice top become a bottom on the 5 minute, nice and clean. Got RSI confirming that entry for a reversal. As your classic trend trade. You could have loaded the wagon here like Hilton. Put a stop in here. It was a clean move. Okay, there you go. Countdown 50 seconds, and the 1 minute chart's going to say, oh, it's a buy in the 1 minute. Because here's your reversal. RSI, more oversold, higher price. All we have to do is pop up into the ionosphere here. Looking for a severe pullback right now, so they can pick up my tickets. Here's your RSI signal. Oversold, higher price. Here's your top become a bottom on the 1 minute. You know, at this time of day, you can't trade the 1 minute. I mean, the faster the market moves, the smaller the time frame that you can trade. Okay, I think I'm going to hang in there because I got limits below me to get filled, and the stocks are open, and we're off. Off like a herd of turtles. There she goes to the wild blue yonder. North. Uncharted waters. Uncharted water. It's like flat earthers. They're right at the edge. I saw some guy on a podcast with a picture of these ships at this edge of this ice. I love when people say dumb shit like, we've been indoctrinated. Yeah, support and resistance, it doesn't exist. Oh boy, they're pulling it back. Come on. Take it back below 110 here. 1310. Uh-oh. Yikes. Here comes the 1 minute traders. They're pissed. They're going to push this puppy. Oh boy. Look at double bottom on the 1 minute. Oh. There we go. I got a 73K looking to get filled here. 73K just spattered in there randomly. A random spattering. We're still waiting for these stock traders to get their shit. We're waiting for Soros. Doesn't come in until 5 minutes after the Dow's been open. We refer to the 5 minute chart. We had a 5 minute pullback, one chance to get long. We're about to crush into the infamous window of doom to the north side. We're going to go hunt some bears. Here we go. Hold on, kids. We're going to go bear hunting. Here it goes. Oh, look at this. Scalpers have already had their fun, maybe. There's no telling what kind of damage they can do. Gotta be careful. I don't know what I told you about that. Okay. All right, we got to get to that. Take out the high of the day here. Come on. Let's go, people. I got time for this shit. I got to take a nap. Come on, let's go. Okay, we're sitting there. Very tempted to take my $25,000 I've made since I opened the stopless account. Survived a sell-off into my limits this morning. Hand-placed naked limits. Kind of want to just take my 25 grand and go home. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens here in the next minute and a half, because and there's probably some crude oil news coming out or some nonsense at 10. But yeah, looks like the euro's going to sneak into this void, and then we will be killing it again. Very much want to go to the 15 here so I can see the channel void, the void of it, the void. Okay, we're stepping into it on the 15. It's just going to keep going up. RSI's maxed out. People are going to try to sell that because it's overbought, but it's like, look out. The void is going to destroy the RSI. If we go to the 5, you only had 5 minutes of pullback. Got 20 seconds. $20 seconds left. Come on, people. So the 1 hour view. That's the ledge we're up on there. We're in the window. It's 1 hour window. Gotta keep cutting into it now. This is the target zone. Anything up in here, we're gonna be rich. We will make some serious money. So really, it will be very tempting to dump out of everything the moment we go above here, because that will be the high. While you're coming into this You're so close to the high of the month here. This new month. And like I said, if you look at the monthly chart, it's psychotic. I have no take profits sitting here anymore. Okay, I'm above water on every trade. We just have to let it go. It's a balloon. Tis balloon. So we just have these voids to fill we're looking at. There's more detail on the 4 hour than the daily. Because this is a real big zone up here. Okay, Soros is in. 5-minute traders. They went long on this pullback. They had 2 pullbacks. They bought that 10-minute pullback and they are ready to go. Proceed north, people. Without caution. See, this void goes back deeper, so you get more detail on the 5-minute void. But you might need another chart on here because it's a little disorientating. You're so up in the air and that. Okay, the sellers came in to that fresh high. Made a new high. Sellers came in. Let's see if they have to scurry away now. Somebody got filled there on a new high. Or somebody cashed out. We could have cashed out there. You'd have to nail it, or you have the pending sitting there. So the bid made it there. I just have to. So we're in that window. 3 wicks in there. 5-minute chart. I'm sure there's some kind of crude oil news coming out. Something, right? It's always something with these people. Housing index, 10 a.m. Well, that's mortgage, that's debt. They always give it a yellow. Trust me, that's enough to push this market all over the place at 10 o'clock. So, got 20 minutes to go to the news. Wage index is coming out in Australia tonight. Australia is good to trade if you want to trade at night. You trade the news. Last night there was some great news trading on that Australian dollar. Spread gets pretty brutal though. You have to hold back your market orders. Limits I wouldn't worry about because there's nothing you can do about that. You're sure the best fill. Okay, we've got some 10-minute charts are updating. We got to blow out that resistance on those 3 wicks. Start walking into this vacuum above us. Otherwise, we're going to pull back and buy more. Automatically, pendings are sitting there naked. And that's what it's counting on is a nice rip back and then a rip up. So I'm actually looking forward to the bad move. I used to be afraid of the bad move, and now I want the bad move. I'm counting on them raping me again. It's just like trading forex is like being in prison. Bring your own lubricant. Look at they're pulling it back. So it's more better than I thought. That cost me like $2,000 in equity to come down here, dip down and fill some more tickets though. Plus I can draw a trend line now. I guess Soros must have got out instead of got in. I can draw a trend line right there now. Okay, that'll be written in stone in the next 4 minutes. Or next 5 minutes. It's got to close down here in 5 minutes. And then I'll have that trend line locked. And he can come back and pick me up with some more tickets. Because that definitely triggered a lot of selling when he dipped into this window here. People cashed out. Oh, that was a nice stop out there. Don't think we got filled though. I could pull the trigger on the smaller chart. So I just bought one at the market there. So I go by size. I can take it back here and just scalp this one. Trying to make 7.8 pips, like 7 pips there. So the best thing to do is be able to scalp at some point here if you're going to still ride like all those tickets. Oh, here we go. So that was the stop on it, apparently. It's very quick and dirty. Now we can proceed north into the void. The void cometh. I'll be scalping out into the void. And there she blows. Let her rip, Captain. It's all over for the except the crying. Oh boy, look at this thing ready to tip into the window now. 5 minute traders. See, they didn't close down there, so I couldn't draw my trend line. They stop hunted these 15-minute window. Or a 10-minute window. You can't really see it on the 15 chart. Alrighty, let's go. Come on, people. Let's take this to 50 grand. Bring it to the void, please, people. Let's crush this thing. Had enough consolidation. We have a mission to go higher. Got to blow out these wicks here. Just trash this window. I'm definitely tempted to get out everything there. I have a take all profits button. So cash out and then throw limits in. I'd spatter them very close all the way down. This morning I put in too many 130s. Wow, we're cutting into the void now. So we're gonna make an honest attempt. There's the void. Boy, it sure is tempting to crash out everything here in this window. So if I made $30,000 with a $10,000 account in 3 days or 5 days of the weekend, of course you really have to be willing to risk that initial 10,000. That's a lot of money to put in one account. But it's just less work to trade really big tickets. It'd be a lot of work to take a $5,000 account and get it up to this amount. It'd be very tedious. So if I had a button I could press and keep throwing in limits here that were like 5Ks, and they're 1 pip apart, and I would actually take off a few of these winners right now. I'd cash out of about, take $1,000 off the table and run trailing limits, and then it would be sized okay for this account, you know. You could take this account and make it into an account with stops, which is going to be less risky to if you put yourself on a trading diet, so to speak, and said you're only going to trade, risk $100 a week or $100 a day, it'll take you a long time to blow up this account. And when need be, you could have a ticket where you buy at the market some insane amount. Here we go, into the window. Coming into this news on housing. Crude oil's up big. And I haven't looked at the other markets, but when I saw the pump this morning, I thought, Jesus fucking Christ. Here we go. So I'm really tempted to get out into this and reload, because this could bid up into the news. News comes out and then slam the other way. I prefer to take out the high of the day before the news, but not take out the high of yesterday, maybe. So this is today's high. We're just very close to yesterday's highs up here. And these vertical dotted lines are really the thing that's really important, because you can't see it on the 4-hour chart, but you can see this is the high, mid-high of the day, and here you're knocking on the highs again. How about to cash out on this ticket in about 5 more pips? I think this one little baby ticket I got, but I mean, in the long run, it's just going to be something else. We could take out all that on the daily, all these levels in the big picture. Look where we're at. My God. We've done a perfect measured move here. Almost to target. Okay. Almost. Here, holding 16. You just got to get above and rip now. So the 5-minute traders bought this this reversal back here. Top became a bottom. And we bought this, we just held on to this. I bought one there for the scalp. Here is 15-minute view. Got to crush this now. Here we go. News is coming out. It should rock this thing. And then I really have to consider closing all profits. If we take out last week's high now. There's all sorts of insanity here. Last week's high is here. And then we got the high from 2 days ago. The high of the week right there. Okay. Creeper gear countdown to the news. 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Boom. I'm going to cash out on my little baby. 73K now. Can't seem to get out of that damn little thing. So are we supposed to be getting out here before the news? So if this was real money, I'd probably cash. I'd go flat right now. Because that's a lot of money. 27 grand. Let's take a look at the 1-minute chart. Now we're coming into the top of the hour. Let's make new highs. Insane. Oh boy, there she goes. Yikes. She's coming after him. Maybe gets a 50 grand here if we could take out yesterday's, or take out the high of the day, and then of course this is yesterday's high up here. Everybody's waiting for the news. 9 minutes to news. Yeah, I'd be afraid to sell that. Cashing out along the way here. Definitely dumping everything right here would not be a bad idea. I just feel like it's about 2 more pips to go. We got all those pendings beneath, so it's only Tuesday. We could still get a pullback. I'm sure there's a lot of people cashing out. Let me see if I'm coming up on the 5-minute 5-minute rooftops here. So right here is like the narrowest rooftop you can find. So I do figure people did cash out there. It's definitely a trap on the 5. All right, so very close to today's high. Still waiting for news. Absolutely waiting for the news. Please hold. National Association of Home Builders, I think that's what it's called, is about to release the housing market index as we go ripping north on the euro dollar. And it's a yellow a news event on FX Forex Factory, but it's enough to tip this market into my zone. Okay, so I'm very tempted to get out there. You see that little wiggle there? I don't have my spread indicator up, but it looks like the spreads are going to get smashed. News in 1 minute. Housing index. My finger on the exit button. If we get to 50 grand, I might dump and then reload on limits really close to the market. The spread should get pretty ridiculous here. 30 seconds. If we can clear out yesterday's high, I'll just dump out. And then just pepper in some small tickets for a pullback. Or just put them in really wide. 10 seconds. It looks like a lot of people have already gotten out. And I don't know what the number is, but the market knows. Okay, I'm going to let go. This is going to take some time now for that to go up. So if it would have spiked up there right when the news came out, I probably would have got out, but it looks like it's just going to be a classic drift up. The news is not very high impact news. Spreads aren't that bad. It was friskier just before that. It was friskier than it is now. So it looks like it's just going to clear out yesterday's high. I just get nervous when I see the market twitching. Got to take out today's high. Come after yesterday's 30-minute window. Still got those buy limits pending below in case we come ripping back. This is the moment of truth. The news is out. And it just has to keep plowing north, otherwise we're going to have to wait to get paid now. comes the 1 minute traders. They're like, oh, we're just about that last pullback. And what is the news? Now, if the housing index is down, would that make the euro go up? I think we have to wait a few minutes here to get the FX Forex Factory. We don't have the Reuters feed, so we're not a big boy. We're not going to pull the trigger based on the news. Looks like we're going to drift north here. That's okay. We don't mind. That's a good plan. Just curious to see what the news actually is. Oh, 62. So the housing index is up. I don't know what that means. Better than expected. I guess the price of houses. Okay, maybe that's inflationary. I don't know. Everything's going up. Okay. We're getting some reaction to the news here. Just took out the high of the day. Or, I don't know, it's not the news, just this is just a void that needs to be filled, that's all. Okay, so got to take out the high of yesterday and keep plowing north. That is the plan. More north plowing. Try to get to 50,000. I see people taking profits here at this top. That 1 hour roof. They're out there cashed out. We were at 42,000 at that point. We could have cashed out. So at this point, maybe I could put some buy limits in now. So if we come back here, I can pick up some more. And then we just let it go. See what happens to this thing.